Okay. So I'm coming back to Zoom. So here we are. We got Eric here. Is joining. Okay. Okay. So I'm coming back to Zoom. So here we are. We got Eric here. Is joining. Okay. Okay. So I'm coming back to Zoom. Okay, I gotta cut that recording out. Hold on. So here we are. Okay. I'm back in business. Back in business. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
Okay, so let me tell you what's happening. I'm sharing this negative rate screen. And let me go back to it. Share. Can you all see this? Again? The negative rates?
Yes.
Okay, great. So with the brand new dump truck, Eric, we only break even between 120 and 130, maybe 125. You break even. But that's only at an $8.42 an hour. You break
8 hour. For what you mean 8 hour? Oh, 8 hours. No, you
$8.42 an hour.
why you think you break even at $8? I thought you said $125.
Okay, so are you looking at the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, these are all of our expenses right here. Let me move this over some. These are all our expenses right here. At $68 an hour, minus these expenses, you're at a negative $53.58
Mm-hmm.
an hour. That's what you pay to work.
I got you.
You stop paying between 125 and 130 because at $8, it's $8 right here. We see a break-even point where you're in profit. Rather, you're in profit at $8.42.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with a brand new truck. I mean, if you have a truck note. If you don't have a truck note, you're in profit at $95. Now, mind you,
You can't rebuild you can't do maintenance on your engine and rebuild the engine and every.
No, you cannot. Glad you said it because it's right down here. It's 77 cents if you get legal fees. And most people don't even think about these things, right? For us as women, we actually have to pay for our certification through federal SBA. We have to pay for that. So it has to be calculated in, right? The problem is most of us don't count our costs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then so, that's for old trucks. Oh, I haven't even put in inflation in here. And we all know that inflation is really killing us right now. So this break even point, I might need to redo this chart for here because inflation is really bad right now. And so this is for no truck note. This is a negative rate for no, and this is your profit per hour here on this side. Anybody out here got truck notes? I got a truck note. My truck note is like $3,500.
I got 2 truck
Yeah, I got 3 of them.
3. I got 3.
Okay. I know Tammy got a truck note. Nydia, praise God, she paid her trucks off. Woohoo! But
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, for that. I got a woohoo for that one.
yeah, so this is where we are. And it's like I can't understand why we keep, not us, because I know we've raised our rates, but I actually came on here so it could be really interactive if we could change any of these numbers. Did I do something too high? Because like in Baltimore City now, or even just for the jobs that have prevailing wage, federal wages, you have to pay a driver between, I think maybe that's the only thing I could change. And it's only going to come down a little bit, which is $32 an hour. I could change that one.
Mhm.
And if he does anything time and a half in Baltimore City, time and a half is after 8 hours a day in Baltimore City. If they work the weekends and nights and holidays, that's double time in Baltimore City. I'm only talking to people here in the DMV, because that's the area I'm in. I didn't do a deep dive for the numbers. If someone wants to, for people who are listening on the recording, if you all want me to do a deep dive in your area, I can run the numbers and tell you what it is. But in Baltimore City, if there's any Baltimore city funds or any federal funds, it's all prevailing wage. And I talked to the young lady a couple of weeks ago, and she says, I've never gotten a report on trucking, but you're scheduled for prevailing wage. I was like, but you should. And so now we're just trying to force compliance, because then that will raise the rates of everything.
The drivers, they ain't gonna raise our rate. That's up to us to get our rates up. That ain't gonna force contractors to have to pay us, because our drivers, we legally bounded to pay our drivers what they deserve. They can still practice the same behavior. She said it. She told us. Remember, she said, "I don't have anything to do with the trucks, just the drivers."
She did, but guess what? Who in the hell will continue to work on a contract where you're going to pay more than half for the drop? Is it more than half? It depends on where you are. If you at $68, that's more than half.
They'll do it. They just don't run no insurance, no tags. They'll figure it out.
And you're right. Some
All
people
tires, somebody gonna find something more bootleg than we already doing. But we won't get it from them contractors. Maybe we might refinance our house instead. We do some crazy stuff
to stay in business, huh, man?
Yeah.
But I'm talking.
Sounds like you're talking about me, Eric.
No, I'm just saying. Hey, I done exhausted everything, man.
Yeah, I took $100,000 off one of my rental properties just to keep this shit going this year.
I was getting ready to sell one, and I'm trying not to, man. I'm trying not to
do it. Do not sell it, bro.
If it wasn't for my firearm classes, I would have had to come up off an asset somewhere.
So how long? Like I got a question. How do we get the conversation going with people who really think they're making money?
I don't even want to tell you. I don't even hold a conversation with them. Just start assassinating people and get them out of the business.
What if we can print this out and just go to everybody's lots and put it in or everybody's office, and send it to them, or can email blast? I don't know.
Yeah, I might do that, Eric. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fine tune these numbers, which are not going to be much, because most of this, like I was talking to Mr. Chuck with Cams, and he told me he just replaced a motor for $55,000 in his 2016. $55,000 to replace a motor. Where they do that at?
Oh, you're gonna pay $80,000 for a Cummins engine right now. $80,000. So yeah, good luck with that. $50,000 is a bargain.
Wow. And most people who don't even factor it in a note for a replacement for an old truck. Oh, I got my truck paid for, but they never consider the repayment cost or the replacement cost of a motor or, my truck went out. I didn't know anything about it. I was just totally ignorant. Okay. When my truck went out last year, I never knew that I had to replace the 5-year deficit replacement. All that was new to me. And I posted it up everywhere. I post up all my traumas, right? When it comes to this trucking stuff. And it's like, and the only reason, I could float that even from, and I'm paying for it now though, from December to the end of January, my truck not working, is because I had money. I had money from trading. I just had some money. But now, I don't have no money in this right here. And I don't want to use my money from my trading to support this business. That means I'm supporting financially projects that are not going to render me a return. No way, in no way. So me working for the state of Maryland, me paying their project is not going to benefit me. It's not even going to give me a tax write-off to support them.
My question is this. I got one question for everybody on this call. What was the reason for starting our own business?
For me, it was to start a business so I could make a living and provide for my family. And, to be able to create experiences, pay myself to create experiences. Like Nydia says, 2023 is a year of experiences. But it's hard to create experiences when you're always in a negative. This type of business, unless you're brokering, right? And it's nothing wrong with brokering, so please don't get it wrong, because we are all brokers on this phone, right? However, when you tout to everyone, oh, we're not going to be making much on margin, but we're going to be working every day. But you working every day to pay people $23 an hour, you're paying. This is what you are paying. These numbers in the red are what you are paying on a new truck. Oh no, this is the old truck. This is with no truck note. These are the numbers that you are paying. And mind you, this does not call into play the 7-year motor replacement or the DEF replacement if you have that system on your truck. You know what I mean? You have to play with these numbers yourself. But even on a new truck, these are the numbers that you are playing when you accept these rates right here. $68, $70, $75. And I know it's crazy to say 68, but there are places in Florida with the same brand new truck are getting $68. They accepted that. And you're paying with the truck note of $3,500 a month, you're paying $53.58 an hour to work. You will never catch up. And what do they say? Men lie, women lie, numbers do not. Now it may be a little bit of fluff, but I'm gonna redo this, and we're gonna come back to this for sure. I'm gonna get them with all the expenses, and I'm gonna fine tune this, but I'm gonna send it out as is. But that's why I got into business. Chris.
Eric, why did you get in business, Eric?
You said, why did I get into
this business, trucking? What was your purpose? What was your reason? What was your goal?
I was looking for a way. I was just kind of looking for like an easy way, the easiest way to get into entrepreneurship. That seemed like it was, I guess, the least. The simplest way that wasn't going to take too much overhead. I had just got into real estate. And I had like $40,000 tied up into a property, and then I did the math on how long it was going to take me to get the money back, and I'm getting $600 a month, and I'm like, no, this ain't it. And then when I found out I can get at that time like $500 and $600 a day for a $60,000 truck. That was my determining factor right there. Like, man, this seemed more better, That's
did you have an end goal? The end goal
was for me to the point. Yeah, the end goal was for me to I didn't have a number of trucks, right? But I wanted to get enough trucks where I can not have to drive, and the trucks could be able to take care of themselves and take care of me and my family, and I didn't have to drive.
So at any point during this, how long you been in the business now?
97, I think 16 years now.
16 years. So at any point during this 16-year span,
15,
right?
Yep, 16, yep.
No, that's longer than that if you got in at 97.
Not 97, I'm sorry, 2007.
2007. Okay.
Yeah.
So at any point during this time, right? 16 years, 15 years. Were you not driving?
Yeah, couple of times, but yep, I might not drive 6 months, then I'm back in the truck. I might like 6 months. I did only twice, and then I always end up back in the truck. I never could seem to really get and I never could seem to make it happen. And then I was the only income for a long time. 7 years, my wife was a stay-at-home. So
Yeah, but even if you were the only income, right? What I'm trying to get at right here, right now, is that as a business owner, right?
yeah.
An independent business owner in any sense.
Mhm.
The goal here is to start a business, babysit it for a little while, then you'll be able to put people in place to run that business for you.
That's a fact.
Right. And then you can walk away from it and go do whatever else you want to do with your life just to be able to oversee it.
That's a fact.
Now, I believe almost everyone else in this industry, in this line of field or whatever we're in, is pretty much able to do that in a sense. When you think of companies like Alan Myers or Brian Son or CJ Miller, Pleasance, all of them guys, right? Martin Marietta, Lafarge, Barracks, SW Barracks and Sons. They just opened a new quarry up there in Woodsboro. Used to be the old Comas plant. They just opened a quarry up there. So they started dynamiting out rocks and stuff. All them companies are able to put people in place, and you never see the owners. You probably don't even know what they look like. The point I'm trying to get to here is that if you walk into any of them places or drive into any of them places, they tell you the price of their rocks. If you don't buy it at that price, you're just not getting rocks. And whether you negotiate a sales with the salesman or whatever, the salesman is going to come back with a price and say, all right, this is the absolute minimum I can do. If you can't buy it at this, you're not buying rocks. The quarries, the asphalt plants, and all those guys are in the business of selling material. And when you look up their business code, what their business is or what they conduct or what they register their business to be, hauling is not a part of their code. Okay? The part of their code strictly says material furnishing and sales. That's it. Where we get off here, giving them the upper hand on us, letting them tell us why are the quarries even bidding hauling rates anyway? They're selling their material and they're providing their customers a cheap service on our back. Okay? For hauling. Where do they come off bidding hauling and they don't own any trucks? None of them own any trucks.
So they like, look, I'll sell you the stone and give you the trucking. That's a good deal.
That's it.
I'll sell you the stone and give you the truck. And
they don't own any trucks. They give the trucks just enough money to come back to work the next day. That's it. There's no profit. There's none of that. And that's the change that I want us to make.
That is so good. I'll sell you the stone and give you the truck. Nydia, why you get in business?
Because my brother told me he wanted a truck. No, it was brought to me, and once it was brought to me, I thought it would be a second income generating thing to do. And then once I was caught up in it and all the money was out there, then I had to stay in it because I was already too caught up in it to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Tammy, why'd you get in business?
So, okay, I'm gonna tell you. I lived in Clinton by aggregate, and all I thought in my head is I needed a truck, a driver, and insurance, and I could start my business. I didn't think all the things that we're learning this and the stuff that we talked about. I was one of those people. I didn't inquire all the other things, but mine is 18 years later. You know what I mean? So
I get it. When I got in business, when I got a truck, a dump truck, let me just tell y'all know I had trash trucks first, right? I should have stayed in trash trucks. It was more money, okay? Because trash go no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, it's going. And I had trash trucks, and then my now ex-husband, Calhoun, he did some illegal dumping, and it cost me my bonds. And so I got out of trash because I was just mad. And then I was working for a little while, and then I came back to dump trucks. And I was actually supporting my cousin when I was working for a construction company. And I'm looking at the numbers, and I was like, now mind you, he was brokering, right? So I took over the brokering and did my own business. And yeah, at first I was just part of someone's support team. I never did anything. I was just going to support the person and let them lead. I'd be the person in the back. That failed me, and I had to hurry up and pay some people. So I had to start my own company ASAP. I actually had to borrow money because the person actually stole the money. And I had to borrow money so I could pay these people because they were looking at me. At that point, I was the face. So
I just realized, Chris just made me realize something. I wasn't. I was. It was buried deep in the back of my mind. Y'all just brought something out. I did sell a property to stay in business when the recession happened in 2008, 9, and 10. I sold my property. That's the only reason I was able to maintain. So I'm thinking about doing it a second time. Just to stay. I keep selling properties to keep the trucks is costing me everything.
So you giving up for real assets for this?
Yeah.
That is, and you know, this is not a ding to you, Eric, but
No, I mean, yeah,
this is
he
for
just made me
anybody
realize
who's
that.
yes, this is for anybody who's going to hear this replay. Do not sell your other asset, cash producing assets for this trucking company.
I ain't doing it again. I'm like I said, I ain't doing it. But I
No, the
just
crazy
realized I
thing
did
is
it.
this, Carmen, is what I was trying to open everybody's eyes to, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that we all came in this business to be independent, to be business owners, whether our dreams were to retire comfortably or at some point we all thought we were going to get rich at this. Okay. Or if you don't use the word rich, financially comfortable,
Yeah.
where you don't have to be so hands-on as opposed to going to work every day, punching somebody's clock, putting up with people's shit or whatever. You're able to run your own business.
Mm-hmm.
And that has not happened. What we all ended up being is slaves to these masters
Yeah.
in this
That's a
business.
fact. That's a fact.
And that's what we need to change. Look, this is what it costs to haul your shit. If you're not paying this rate, your shit's not getting hauled, unfortunately. They can put up garages. They have garages, they have full-time mechanics, all their employees get benefits,
Mm-hmm.
all of that shit. We're running a business just like they are, but we don't have a full-time mechanic. We don't have a garage where we can just pull our truck, where the driver can just pull the truck in the evening, write it up, and overnight the truck's fixed and gone to work the next day. We don't have that.
So what I think we need though is a level of transparency. There's no transparency. I want to applaud I don't know if Tammy does it, but I know Nydia always puts it out there what she make and don't care. She tell people what she make and she break it all the way down and don't care, give zero fucks about what people think because those are the numbers, right? And she's always been like that. And I think it needs to be a level of transparency because honestly, at this rate that we're going, you know, one time I was talking, Carter always told me that this was a debt-based business, and it is. But America is a debt-based economy. They actually sell our debt, right? For our dollars. I mean, it's the example that we have is effed up. Okay, but we can turn this around. Yes, we can. And yes, we will, because you're not getting no, I'm not doing a truck. In fact, I'm thinking about selling out because I'm just not gonna pay anybody when somebody asks me to for $90 or $95. I'm not paying nobody $16 to work to generate capital that's never gonna come back to me. I'm gonna keep borrowing to support this business. I'm not doing it. And if I can't get at least 135, 140 where we at now, bidding, I'm not doing it. We gotta change our thinking. But the United States is a debt-based business. The United States can't even finance a pencil. Okay, that's how broke we are.
Yeah, they can't. But you know, when you look at role model examples, you know, like Amazon, you know, maybe even you throw eBay in there and the business model, right? FedEx,
Now, mind you,
UPS.
hold on, Chris. All these people are getting record bonuses. All the what is the people that shareholders, they getting record presidents, everybody is getting record bonuses, bonus checks. All these banks that are collapsing, they taking their money, but our jackass selves give it to them.
We give into it because we're too desperate. You know?
Yeah.
We're too desperate. And plus there's, you know, there's too much supply. There's too many of us. Yeah. And when there's too many of anything, the price is cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can give you a prime example of that. You can go buy a Cadillac CTS for cheap. Okay? But they only make 100 of the Cadillac CTS V Blackwing version of the car, the super sports car of that model. And you will pay upwards to $100,000 for that. Why? Because it's a rare commodity. There's too many of us doing this business. So it creates a sense of desperation. And not forget the numbers, okay? There's a lot of us doing it. But there's most of us that don't have any sense at all. Because if all of us would come together and say, hey, look, we're all sticking together $135 an hour, then we can make that change.
Sounds like a workable situation to me. But
that's the only way we can make that change. But you have the select few that are scared. They won't have nothing to eat.
But you're not gonna have nothing to eat. You're working your way out of business for anything less than one.
Oh, slowly but surely. Eric just told you. He sold a freaking rental property to stay afloat. He's thinking about selling another one.
He said, I'll sell you the stone and give you the truck.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Where do they come off dictating what their customers pay for the trucking of the material that they're buying? And they don't own any trucks.
Nope. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to do a quick thing live tonight because I wanted to walk through these numbers because I didn't want to seem like I was crazy. It may be a little bit of fluff here in this column. However, there's some serious replacement costs, healthcare, everything, these things that inflation, they're not included here. So this number is not accurate either. But I'm going to start here. If anyone wants to send me some numbers, send them to me. I will gladly plug them in. And I'll send them to you, Nydia, Tammy, and Chris, Eric. So if you all want to make some, changes, then we'll come back on and do it again. But I want to thank y'all for coming on at a last minute's notice, because of my Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff self wanted to share online so people could see these numbers and where we are as an industry. And the reason why it's not working is because of this. And then, I also did a chart where it says negative rates, or no, this is the negative rates chart. The one I did was beware of brokers, right? And I was trying to do a balance of scales. And the scales is, we want to blame the broker, but you can't blame the broker because you give them your truck, right? You can't move out of fear. And you had the brokers, I believe, now don't get me wrong, because I'm a broker, we have to make money in order to do the work that we do. Someone's got to pay for the administrative part for these huge ass projects, right? Someone's got to do all that work. So I believe that the brokers need to get paid. However, when some of the things are not moving because the number for the broker doesn't move, right? And if they getting a nice fat check off of that 5%, 5 to 10% margin, and they tell you, oh, we not moving on that much margin, but at least you are working at these negative rates in the red here. From $43 all the way down to $1.58. And $1.58 is at 110. And if you got a truck note of 3,500, you'll never catch up. But there's hope. You just have to make a decision. We all have to come as one and say no. And so I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming on and sharing your business with the people and with me, and going along with my Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on a Friday night at 9 o'clock. So you guys are amazing. Thank y'all so much for coming on. Does anyone have any closing? Anything?
Yeah, I thought about selling a product. I ain't selling no another product. I'm not selling another product.
Praise God. Don't do it.
Eric, if you have
I'm
to
trying to hold on to
refinance
my
it,
trucks. My goal is if I can at least pay these last 3 trucks off. That's my goal. Pay them off. And where if I sell them, I could just sell them and leverage it on something else. I just want to be able to sell them and get everything for them, and not just get a piece, not pay off the difference and keep it, pay it off and keep the difference.
So
Because I already kind of lost the faith, but when Goldman Sachs put out that thing saying things was going to get back to close to normal 2025, so that's like 5 years, right? 5 years from the
3 years from now.
Yeah, but it was 5 years from the pandemic. Basically saying the pandemic was going, the recession back happening in 2008 was a 3-year situation before it recovered. This one he's saying going to take 5. But when I was talking to Dexter, he's saying he think it's 5 years from after the loans and stuff came out. He think it's going so be 2007. So that's going to be 2027. So my thing is just to at least hold on to 2025.
Did he take into account that the de-dollarization around 2027 is going to flip? Did he take into consideration that, Dexter?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because
he believes it's 5 years, but he don't believe it's 5 years from the pandemic. He thinks it's 5 years from after the PPP and the EDIL, because he said you couldn't really they was pretty much avoiding it from getting to this point. So he's saying he thinks it's 5 years from that point.
It's all the quantitative easing and printing of money that they did, all of the money that we got in for all the money that they paid us.
He said that was delaying the reality. So it delayed the reality by like 2 years.
Yes.
So I'm trying to at least make it to 2025. I ain't gonna have no notes by 2025. So if it recover, I reinvest into the trucking. But if not, at least I, if I can walk away with like 300,000 from all my equipment, I'm just trying to figure out the next move.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something funny, right? I've been buying townhomes in Baltimore City and the county. Strictly townhomes has kind of been my strategy. And I've been flipping them for the past 4 years, right? And just last year, I decided to stop flipping and start holding on to everything my hands touch. And I managed to hold on to 3 properties so far. I put long-term tenants in 2 of them. And I have one that's in Dundalk that's not in a hot area at all, listed on Airbnb as an Airbnb rental. And month after month after month, that property generates between $2,500 a month and $3,200 a month. Some months are better than others, and I just did that back in February. Okay, so I've only had 3 months worth of results to judge this by, and now we're going into the peak season, and it's booked up all the way to the end of July, with every month generating over $4,000 a month. Just that one property alone from now until July. And I'm looking at this shit like, look, this house I bought for 85,000. I put 70,000 in it, and it's valued. My last valuation, or whatever you call it here in the state,
Assessment, tax assessment,
yeah, not tax assessment, but where you have somebody come out and tell you what the property is worth.
appraisal.
Appraisal, right? My last appraisal was 240,000, right? So right now I'm sitting on this property with $100,000 worth of equity in it. But I just say that to say this: 240,000 for a house that generates you 4,000 a month, okay? Versus a $300,000 truck that puts you in the deficit all the time.
All the time. And we have
to me, the math is not mathing at all when it comes to these trucks.
It's not mathing.
Everybody makes money off this truck except you, the owner. The only thing you can say is if you need a day off, you don't have to ask anybody for a day off. But guess what? You're going to have to make that day up.
So y'all got to forgive me if I'm not as nice as I used to be when we in front of these people. Because it's life or death for me with this.
Eric, listen to me, man. I got your back 100%. If you're going to jail because you're not as nice for the same cause that I'm going to jail for too, I'm with you 100%.
I feel like we've been nice when we was protesting.
That nice shit ain't getting you nowhere.
And it ain't getting us nowhere.
Well, I think that we need to shut down. Honestly, we need to.
One of Kinsley guys knocked off the boards off of the side of one of my trucks today. Okay, I paid $85 for that 2x12 by 16-foot board. Okay, that does not include labor or nothing. That's just me going to Home Depot with my pickup truck, burning gas, spending time, picking out a nice board, cutting it to size, drilling holes in it, putting it up there, putting bolts in it, everything. They knocked it off the side of my truck today. And I told them, I need $160 for that board. That includes the time to buy it, drill it, cut it, put it up there with labor and everything. And the guy looked at me and he laughed and said, for just the board? And I said, here what? I'm giving you guys 7 days to pay for that board. And if you don't pay for that board within the next 7 days, then y'all gonna miss a couple of days of work. And so help me God, I'm going out there with my fucking battery operated drilling. I'm drilling a hole in every fucking hydraulic line on those machines out there. I swear to God, I promise you.
Hey, we live. You can't
I don't care. I don't care.
Call me. I'm gonna go with you.
I don't care. It's the fact that they can damage my shit and laugh at me and not fucking pay for it. They up shit's creek, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Take me to court for it after I drill the holes in them line. But I'm going to tell the judge straight up, you damage my property and decide not to pay for it. So it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And if the judge is up there as God appointed him to be a judge, okay, then he can read the Bible and see that it says an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. You can't send me to jail and you can't fine me for some shit that they should have paid for when they had the opportunity to pay for it. That's how America works. You take people's shit, you don't pay for it, you get a fine, you get a judgment against your credit report. At some point, either you're gonna pay it or you just won't be able to survive. He laughed, and I'm not joking. I'm serious.
I'm serious too, but we got to pick this back up because it's gone long. Tammy, what were you about to say?
Tammy is gone.
I don't even remember. I don't remember.
Do you have anything to say in closing?
No.
Okay. I want to thank y'all for coming on, but with these numbers, either what do they say? Either fall for, what is it? You got to stand for something or fall for something.
Anything.
Yes, anything. So we'll pick this back up probably next week or whenever my mind says, hey, let's go live and talk about it so people can hear and see and make a judgment call based on the numbers that were presented, because men lie, women lie, numbers do not. Thanks so much for staying on with me tonight, y'all, and we're going to continue this conversation.
Okay.